Good morning everybody and welcome to the MTR Elizabeth Line Branch Line Society and Class 315 Preservation Society commemorative event. My name is John Bradley and I'm one of the tour leads today alongside Scott McLeod from MTR Elizabeth Line and Martha Haggis from the Branch Line Society. Just a reminder, this train is for special ticket holders only with a white wristband for our morning runs between Liverpool Street and Shenfield. We'll be running non-stop. In the interest of safety, we'd like to remind all passengers not to attempt to lean out of the windows and do not lean on any of the doors at any time. Please also do not attempt to open any doors until the train has come to a stand at the platform and the door open buttons are illuminated. Please also ensure vestibule doors are closed whilst the train is in motion. And in line with the TfL conditions of carriage, there is no alcohol consumption permitted on board today. There will be an on-train raffle with some fantastic prizes with all proceeds donated to the railway children. And should you have any questions or require any assistance, please do not hesitate to speak to one of the on-train stewards during the trip. We do hope you enjoy your journey with us today. Thank you for travelling and thank you very much for your support.
Any raffle tickets? Some great prizes, cab ride. Morning. Interested in any raffle tickets today? So all the proceeds go to railway children. So it's £5 for a strip of 5, £1 for one strip of individual 5 tickets. So cab ride, visit to the control centre, some goodie bags, tickets. It's not £10. Lovely, that's very kind of it. And before the end of the morning, we'll be coming back round and checking the winners and distributing the prizes. And we've got another raffle this afternoon.
What's the point? 378 was 229.
I agree. No, I didn't see you. It's alright.
Oh yeah, that you can plan it to do an isolation, yeah. But you have to do it with very little template. And most of it. Maybe just bring an emergency special work.
I think it is crossing over the same platform.
Yeah, you can see the green signal up ahead.
And now they're going to shoot across.
There you go.
To the conversion of our last Class 3, 4, 5 reduced length units. That was a 7-car version of the 9-car train we have here on the platform. To through running, the big event we ran on the 6th of November, where the Great Eastern Main Line joined the Great Western for the first time with through running services. Well, over to my right, we have one of our Class 3, 4, 5 trains, beautiful on the inside, and I'd encourage you all afterward to jump on board, have a look. We have Paul in the glasses from TfL, who is responsible for the design of the interior. So if you have any questions, please do ask him. And of course, we've got Ian Brightmore in the cab, who can offer some cab tours. But of course, there's another milestone in the Crossrail programme as to why we're all gathered here today, and that is the soon-to-be retirement of the Class 315 trains behind you. The Class 315 trains will be retiring soon from the Elizabeth line, effectively seeing the model finish up on the UK's rail network. And that's why you're all here today, because you love this train. Many of you have driven it over the years. We've got a lot of current drivers, former drivers. Many of you have ridden over it for its life of 40 years on routes, whether they be Southend, Victoria, Cheshunt, Enfield Town, Shenfield or Shenfield, just to mention a few destinations. They're certainly etched in your memories, and the trains have a special place in the MTR family too. So some of you would have enjoyed the rides we had this morning. We went on a few trips up and back to Shenfield on some of the avoiders and up on the mains and the electrics. We are offering 2 sessions this afternoon. For those of you who haven't purchased tickets, we will be putting some on sale out the front there at 1:20, so make sure you book a ticket to come along. But I've got a little message from Steve Murphy, the MTR CEO, who sadly couldn't make it here today because of the industrial action. And I'll just read some notes from him. And I quote Steve Murphy, "I love the 315s because they save my bacon. In 2015, when we won the Crossrail concession, we had a year to mobilise these trains before starting operation. We were very lucky to inherit some excellent people, but the stations were sadly falling apart, the crowding was dreadful, and the trains weren't particularly reliable. But as we planned to mobilise, performance was getting worse, and with the new engineering team led by Mrs. Jones, Payne, Stockbridge and Rice, many of whom we've got here today, they suggested one of the first priorities would be a major cleaning regime and a modification programme. The team were enthusiastic about the cleaning programme, but they told me that the modification plan was premature and would be wasteful. Mr. Jones and Mr. Payne explained that instead we would ensure the trains were maintained as they should be and that the doors were not defective, but we need to stop customers holding them open. And of course, if all that failed, we had Derek, and I think Derek's here today. Derek is the Chief Marshal here, really, for the Elizabeth line platforms at Liverpool Street Station. But as Steve says, despite my scepticism, this approach was rigorously followed and we were rewarded quite quickly with sparkling trains, courtesy of our partners at STM, and a rapidly climbing reliability thanks to our partners at Greater Anglia, and in time, the team rightly won awards in both areas. Most importantly, the improvements in the trains was a key driver in rapidly improving customer satisfaction along the route and gave us the platform to achieve the Elizabeth line that we all enjoy today. So thank you, Class 315s. We looked after you, and we certainly looked after us and our customers. I will miss you. That's from Steve Murphy, who's the CEO of MTR UK. Now moving on, when we decided to run the event today, we knew that we wanted it to be a charity event. It was very important on our minds at MTR, and Railway Children was the ideal partner. And that's because Railway Children does amazing things, from their street and community level outreach programs, providing targeted on-the-ground support, through to advocacy at a government level. I'm delighted that all the proceeds from today's ticket sales, coupled with your generous donations and purchasing of memorabilia and raffle tickets, will all go to the Railway Children. And so far in ticket sales and donations, we've raised just over £10,000, so that's an excellent result. Wouldn't it be lovely if we got up to 11 or 12? So please be generous on the 3rd and 4th runs today on board the train. And again, sadly, due to industrial actions, our friends at Railway Children were unable to join us today, but we have some words which they've provided, which I'd like to read on their behalf. It is of no exaggeration to say that without the railway community, railway children would not have been able to help change the lives of so many vulnerable children. Over 300,000 and counting across the UK, India and East Africa. By joining us today to celebrate the Class 315, you're playing a vital part in having a positive impact on the future of children and young people right across here in the UK who are facing unimaginable situations. The COVID-19 pandemic not only wiped out all of our charitable event donations, but it pushed these children further into crisis. Imagine being told to stay at home when home for you means violence, abuse and neglect. Our dedicated team of project workers worked round the clock to make sure these children were kept safe and had someone to turn to. That work continues now, and now that everything is getting back to normal or whatever normal is as we go forward. Unfortunately, our team is now seeing the after effects of the pandemic firsthand. There's been a significant decline in the mental health of the children we work with. In the worst cases, this is manifesting in children attempting to harm themselves on trains. But the good news is that the money raised by our supporters, people like you, is helping us to create a safety net across the United Kingdom, which helps to ensure these children can be spotted quickly and saved from harm. We're delighted to see these events like this back, not just for the money they raise, but to see the railway community come together after such a long time apart. We hope that you take a moment to feel proud of the part you're playing today in changing the futures of children that you will likely never meet. We and they are so appreciative of your support. Thank you. And thank you to Mary from Railway Children who provided those words. Then it's important we do the wider thank yous, because today wouldn't happen without a lot of different people here, different organisations. First of all, the MTR Elizabeth Line engineering team. As you heard from Steve's words, they brought the trains up to a terrific working order, improving the interior comfort and creating a reliable unit. The customer experience team, the CE team, did a great job learning how passengers use the trains, particularly the boarding process, which saw door failings plummet and the units becoming an incredibly reliable unit on the Anglia route. We really did bring out the best of the Class 315s. To Eversholt, Greater Anglia and Network Rail, Eversholt, who supplied the 315s over the years and have been a brilliant partner for the Elizabeth Line, and particularly to us as the operator MTR. To Greater Anglia, who housed the 315s and undertook the heavy maintenance, thank you for keeping the trains running. And Network Rail for providing support here at Liverpool Street Station. Now, of course, a very, very special shout out to the Branch Line Society, without whom we couldn't have made today possible. The BLS, led by Kev Adlam, has gone above and beyond, organising and managing ticket sales, decals and providing assistance in the marshals today, led by Mark on the day-to-day. So thank you very much. A big thank you to the 315 Preservation Society, who provided strong strategic advice so that today could be a success, and for providing, of course, the shop on board for the memorabilia that you were able to purchase to remember the day. From Paul from TFL, who's providing the tours on board the 345, thank you. And other MTR Elizabeth Line colleagues who put today together, despite having day jobs in opening the UK's biggest railway project in a generation and making through running a success. This was all outside of that, so thank you very much for your time. In particular to John Bradley, who we have here. John, raise your hand. John's passion for this train, for the Class 315, is unwavering. It's thanks to John's persistence that we've all been able to enjoy this special day today. From the get-go, as soon as the Class 345 was scheduled for retirement, John has been on the case to ensure that we did a special day today. He's had many challenges and battles, but he's won, and that's why we're all here. And in fact, John is getting married next weekend, yet he's still made it here to commemorate the Class 315, which we always say is his first love. And of course, a big thank you, because events like this, the money we raise, the fun we have on board wouldn't happen without getting a strong audience. So thank you all for coming down and making today a success. It's been a real effort. So everyone, round of applause for yourselves. Pat on the back. I'd now like to pass over to Laxman, who is of the 315 Preservation Society, who'd like to talk a little bit about the trains before we go into the afternoon's festivities. Laxman.
Testing, 1, 2, 3. Good afternoon, everyone. On behalf of us, the Class 315 Preservation Society, MTR Elizabeth Line and the Branch Line Society, I wish you all a very warm welcome to the Class 315 commemorative event. It's fantastic to see such a significant turnout here today, with all profits going to the wonderful aforementioned Railway Children Charity. So, for those unfamiliar with us as a group, who are we? Starting our journey in 2019, we are a group of like-minded individuals who form to achieve one major goal: preserve and fully restore a full 4-car Class 315 electric multiple unit. We are a group like no other. Railway preservation, especially involving EMUs like the 315s, is a difficult field to follow. Many preservationists often go about saving merely a cab or a coach from a retired unit, but not us. For the past 42 years, the Class 315 has been serving the Metro route from Liverpool Street to Shenfield, and we do not want that story to be left untold. We've engaged in continuous discussions with Evershot Rail Group, the owners, to make sure one of these units does not meet the same fate as its classmates. Since then, the team and I have worked tirelessly to make sure that our goal was met, and many hours of paperwork, discussion, fundraising and tea drinking landed us to where we are now. There were times when we were told by people, you can't do this. There were times when people left us. And there were times when we had little motivation to carry on. Now it's our absolute privilege to be collaborating with MTR and BLS themselves on a special day for not just us but for everyone. Whether you've been travelling on the 315 since they were brand new, or you only had your first ride last week, these units, they hold a special place for us. They're the reason I and many others form an interest in railways. It may not be your Flying Scotsman, or it may not be your Intercity 125, but it's a commuter train that did a job and did it well. They've seen you and you at your best and at your worst.
And we've seen them at their best.
They've taken you to school, work, grocery shopping, or even a first date. But for me, they would take me to my grandparents' house every weekend. The occasional school run, and of course, the occasional bit of bashing. And every little quirk of theirs would always put a smile on my face. So if you're here today just to tick off some red track, listen to their traction motors at full line speed, or just hear me ramble about how much I love these units, we thank you for your patronage. But for us, the journey is far from over. What can you do to help us? You can become a member of our society online or by speaking to me during the day. You can buy our cool merchandise ranging from mugs, keyrings and our 2023 calendar. Or you can make a one-off or recurring donation to us. All our fundraise go towards the upkeep of our preserved unit. For those who are members of our society who have purchased merchandise from us in the past, we can't thank you enough for your efforts. But now we need everyone's help, more than ever. We hope you enjoy the rest of the day with us, and a fond farewell to the Class 315 from 1980 to 2022. Thank you for listening.